Okay, so today's video is going to be all about O2 sensors. I'm kind of new to how these O2 sensors work and the effect they have on the mix and all that kind of good stuff. So what I've done for starters is I've disconnected the O2 sensor, single wire unheated O2 sensor from the EFI setup. I've still got the air fuel gauge hooked up so we can keep an eye on that, and I've recalibrated the RPM sensor so I get a precise, like a 2500 RPM. I said over 2000. I've relocated the gas tank to get up high, so I don't have any problem with fuel. Build the gas tank, we're good to go there. So the idea here is we're going to start it, set it to 2500 RPM with this unhooked. Now somewhere when I was reading up on the documentation of this, leaving that unhooked, the effect of that is it kind of never goes into, it knows it's out of range, so it never goes into closed loop. I'm going to get these vice grips right here, ready to go. And the idea here is I'm going to lock in the, I think I need a bigger vice grip, heavier vice grip. We're going to lock down the throttle so that I can hold that 2500. So I'm just going to get them all set and ready to roll. So what I usually do is I just set these up kind of loosely right here on that throttle shaft, and make sure that I can just clamp it down, lock. It returns a little bit, maybe not. There we go. Okay, we're good. All right. So that's ready to go. We'll start it. Set the idle up to 2500 RPM. Keep an eye on that airflow meter. See what happens. Do some experimenting today. Watching the airflow meter. We need 12 right now, about 12.35. That's what the recalibrated. Oh, see, that sounds right. That sounds like about 1,000. That's the auxiliary air. That should be heating up and turning off the extra bypass air. I'm surprised they still do that with an EFI, with this thing, which can modify the RPM, but whatever. I'm gonna try speeding up a little bit. My air fuel ratio is 13. I don't know why it's set up on its own like that. Lower this so the speed is better. Okay. I'm going to look and see if I can see the green light. I should be able to see the green light going on off the ECU. right around 12.4, 12.5. Now we're going to plug in the oxygen sensor. You can see the immediate change in the O2 sensor. It's toggling back and forth, leaning out the mix. It's clear the O2 sensor has an effect on it. Like I said, the plan is going to be to try different O2 sensors to see if it makes any difference in the performance of this. I have no idea what the mode and select does. I'm afraid to press these two buttons. I don't want to really do that while I'm doing a video in case it really screws things up. But as you can see, it very consistently moves back and forth right over 14. Leaves it out quite a bit from the open loop. Indicating about 55 pounds, right at 170, right at 170. Idle speed. Again, there's no way I can go up to adjust the idle other than what the controller wants it to do. We got a nice 750 RPM idle. Now for fun, we're going to do an idle up using the vacuum supply. There's a small vacuum port that if you apply a vacuum to, it should pull the RPM. That's the idle up for the AC. And on the stock 280Cs, there is a same vacuum supply. It works differently. The 280C has a mechanical servo that pulls up, literally pulls up the throttle plate, whereas on this one, it's got an idle bypass air that's actuated by the vacuum. So I'm gonna pull a little vacuum on that. We should see that thing pop up to the AC idle speed. Hold on, stand by. Here we go. About 1,000. Then I'm going to release. So it pulls it up a couple hundred RPM. Alright, so I'm going to set up and do another, let it cool down. We'll do another video later with a different O2 type sensor. But I'm just curious, that's the
if I'm not mistaken, that was the NTK sensor that I put in. I've got a Bosch sensor, and I've got a Denso sensor coming. I'm just curious if there's any difference between these brands. They're not that expensive, and I like to test things out. Okay, just for fun, our idling oil pressure is right at 20. Our fuel pressure is a hair under 30. Our temp is holding steady at about $1.70. And our vacuum is right at 20 inches of mercury. All really good readings. And our air fuel mix is a hair under 14. Like I said, I think it doesn't go into closed loop until you get over 2,000 RPM. I'm going to look and see if I can see the green light flashing on and off. And I cannot. So, oh, no, I take it back. It is coming. It's still in closed loop. I can see the light coming on and off. So. But I think the idle is set up to have a slightly richer mix because they want to have good response off idle. So that kind of makes sense. But yeah, I'm real happy with the way this wideband airflow meter works and the general performance of the ECCS fuel injection system, different from the stock Bosch fuel injection system, which does not have the O2 feedback. My understanding is this computer is a little more sophisticated than the other models that don't have the turbo. This is more along the lines of the next gen computers that came out. While I'm here, I'm reviewing for any oil leaks around the turbo. That all looks good. Let's test this ignition system. Remember I did that mod? Let's see how that works. There's my switch. That alternates. Right now I'm running off the, let's see, I'm running off the PRW-2 igniter. I'm going to switch back to the stock transistor igniter. Ah, perfect. Not a miss. Okay, well, that's all for now. Like I said, the next update will be I'll swap around those O2 sensors, see if it makes any difference at all. But I couldn't be happier with the performance of it so far. It seems very good. The only thing I'm going to have to do is figure out how to mount that airflow meter in a spot not designed for it. But that'll be much later on. All right, thanks for watching. That's all for now. Thank you. Bye.